Ladies and gentlemen, aliens, whatever you identify in this wonderful, beautiful world, I'm looking around just to silence my phone if anybody's asking that. Welcome into the Hunter Houston ESG podcast. Now my phone has been silent, and now I'm back to normal. Now today is a very special day. It's also a sad day, um, for many different reasons. As everyone can see by my hat, because someone said, you gotta wear different hats, man. Makes the show more interesting. So if you're watching and you see my hat, and if you can't read everything it says, I will read it to you. It says the Gulf of Mexico or Mexico. Um, because today, is the No King's Day, which I spent a lot of time trolling my friends with a picture of Donald Trump and Melania Trump as a king and queen, saying that on No King's Day or King's Day, whichever one you want to call it, we do firecrackers, celebrate, and hamburgers, like everything you do on the 4th of July. Plus, you can, uh, consent is just automatically given for whatever you want to do. To your, whoever you want to be with. And then I've posted results may vary. Uh, consult said person you want to be with if King's Day is right for you, because I like to troll both sides, but because both sides suck. So gotten that out of the way. Because hopefully that was a little bit funny for those who were taking it seriously one way or the other. Politics is a joke, regardless of who's on each side. And I even went so far to have one of my favorite uh, Latino singers. Yes, I have his cup. If you listen to his music, he's very popular. I do not say his name because they may flag this for copyright if I do. That's how popular it is. Shout out to PlayStation 8 Dead, to Will Schultz, James, and the gang. They have their show tonight. So I wish them a great show. Also, Sean the Man Powers and the Radical One himself, Radical Reggie, Resident Sterold, a Resident Sterold YouTube show, Loot Bros, also Ninja Loot, his death metal Christian band. Now, before we get going, someone had asked me in an email, because you can email the show. Usually our email and everything's in the bios. I did not put them in there yet, but it'll be there later on for those who watch on or listen on Spotify or whatever. If you want to send us an email or even comment, whatever, later on for chats. But someone asked me, why do I always drink from a cup and I never have a straw? Because straws are, I don't know, man. I think guys who have straws, in other words, if you order from a fast food place and you have a straw, it's okay. But if you go to a sit down restaurant or you're at home and you have a straw, you might as well tell me when you want me to show up to have sex with your wife, because I don't see you much as of a man. You want to drink from a straw from the sake of drinking from the straw. I mean, you just might as well just be declaring to the world you're bi. Um, I just don't understand the need to drink from a straw and you're a dude. It's just drink from a cup, man, like a normal person. If you have to have a straw and you're a dude, there's a good chance I may be invited to, and you can sit in the corner or whatever in the proverbial cock chair. Uh, Obviously, this is not a family friendly show this week, ladies and gentlemen. We're saying goodbye to some great legends, 3 different legends, actually, and we're going to go over their stuff. I tried to get an older friend on here. I don't know if he's really a friend. Sometimes I feel like he's like a friend of me. He just wants to know what I'm doing in life. He's not I don't know if he considers himself a friend of mine anymore. That would be Jose Miguel French. Um, I'm going to call him by his Spanish name, not the English name that he is calls himself now, because he likes to go by all 3. So Jose Miguel French. Um, because me and him actually, I had talked about this in some previous episodes back, that actually got to meet, actually not meet, but talk to him via Xbox Live. And speaking of Xbox and Xbox Live, and let's go over to where we're actually going to talk about this gentleman here. Let's do a little photo share screening, ladies and gentlemen, of one Tomonobu Itagaki, the creator of, well, excuse me, he rebooted Ninja Gaiden, Dead or Alive, He's also, I guess, the king of the jiggle physics. And when I say this guy is like, he did all types of cool thing, man. He was a cool guy. He had great taste in music. The guy was a funny dude and had such premier taste in music. But I just didn't like his overall fetish for Aerosmith. It was like Aerosmith had to be in every Dead or Alive game. And people are saying nothing but praises for this guy for what he did for so many different series. And clearly, this guy was, I mean, Ninja Gaiden was unbelievably freaking hard. That's the only downside I can give this guy. And he did Devil's Own for the Wii U, so that may go up in price now that he's dead. For those who watch PlayStation 8 Dead that are collectors and not filthy resellers, I actually have a really funny meme that I need to send over to the guys over at PlayStation 8 Dead that they can maybe use. I'll also shout out to Michael Pappas for returning tonight for their show. Let's get out of here. But yeah, and go to a different part here that I want to talk about with Tomonobu Itagaki. And let's go over to one more thing here. And let's see here. There we go. Now look at this. The making of Ninja Gaiden 2, the Way of the Warrior documentary for Tomonobu Itagaki. I mean, the guy was like a rock star legend. Look at that, man. He always looks like a freaking pimp in all his like videos. Guy was just an unbelievably cool guy. He kind of like lived the gimmick of just being a cool guy. And he was a cool dude. And he was an innovator of so many different things. But I'm gonna go to, let's see here. Let's go to Dead or Alive. Because Dead or Alive's my gimmick. Everybody wants to say Ninja Gaiden, Ninja Gaiden, Ninja Gaiden, Ninja Gaiden. And again, dude's a legend. Dude's always wearing sunglasses and just doing unbelievably cool. Making of Dead or Alive 3, which was another. And people don't realize how advanced. If you put Dead or Alive 3 in your system, it still holds up today. Even the remakes hold up. The game is awesome. And everybody has nothing but great things to say about DOA. And even the volleyball game, unbelievably good. The guy is just a great guy overall when it came to making games, man. The guy was ahead of his time when it came to like physics, and then when it came to like gameplay, and then the simple controls for DOA were simple but yet complex at the same time. If you want to believe that, that's how complex the game was. Uh, so let me show you how much I love DOA, because I was going to show some Ninja Gaiden stuff. I could not find my Ninja Gaiden stuff. I have like 2 T-shirts of the Ninja Gaiden Black 1 and 2, but no one wants to see me hold up a T-shirt. So let me start out with the original Dead or Alive Ultimate, which is Dead or Alive 1 and 2. Now, Dead or Alive 2 originally appeared in the arcade, and it appeared on the Sega Dreamcast first and foremost. It may also appeared on the Sega Saturn, I'm not sure. But as you can see, DOA 1 Ultimate, DOA 2 Ultimate. Both, believe it or not, pretty decent games. Especially 2. 2 was actually really well done. But what really pushed it over the edge and gave it the big pop that really needed more than anything else. And remember, those ones were exclusive for a while. The Ultimate exclusive for the longest time. I don't think it was ever released on any other system. DOA 3, Xbox only exclusive fighting game, and it was a freaking knockout. And of course, as I've said before, all my games are just empty cases. I don't have the games, I just have cases. And then, of course, after that came DOA Volleyball Extreme. Was it fun? Yes. Was it a horny boy game? Absolutely. Shout out to Will. Shout out to, actually, I will not give him a shout out, but I will say thank you for coining. He should, surprise he hadn't tried to copyright that yet and have that as his catchphrase, um, Mr. Something Way. And then, of course, DOA 4, also an Xbox exclusive, which also has Master Chief in it. I think this was the first game that actually started doing exclusives, where we'd have like a guest from like a different series onto it, and then everybody started doing it after that. Now, What do all those games have in common? All those games have in common Aerosmith theme songs in them or Aerosmith songs in them. So there you go. Trivia for you gaming nerds out there, such as myself. Now, what I loved about these games, other than these unbelievably great and amazing physics that people figured it out that men are very simple creatures, uh, is that the DOA, not just the DOA volleyball, but the DOA volleyball game was actually a good volleyball game. Now, the second one, or DOA Extreme Volleyball number two, kind of ho hum. They added a bunch of idiot mini games that weren't that great. I want to get the one for the PS4 because they did finally make it in English, but it's not available here in America unless you order through Play Asia, which I will eventually. But like, I can't justify playing that in front of my child because then she'll think it'll be okay when she grows up to dress scantily clad and so forth and so on. I don't want that. So all I could do is just have these empty boxes in front of me and think of memories gone past since I cannot play DOA. Because it'll show up on my thing, and it's hard to erase those things or have those disappear. Maybe someone can send me something on how to do that. Like, okay, this is how you play these things, and don't have them appear on your front whenever you want to play these when they're not around or something like that. And then of course I have DOA 5 for the PS4, DOA 6 for the PS4, and then the ultimate version of DOA 6. And here's the thing is I think that they learned before Tomonobu Itagaki actually left Team Ninja is how to kill you with costumes and take advantage of that. Because the reason I think they haven't released another DOA after 6 is they have over like 500, I think it's almost more than $500 worth of costumes for DOA 6. And people buy those costumes for, it's mostly the girls. Like the boys may have like one or two costumes, like, oh, they get a Halloween costume or a Christmas costume. And a Christmas costume is something that you would see off of Playgirl, those people who remember it. Playgirl is a magazine for women where they would see men's hoo-has or, their, jambalaya or whatever. That type of thing. That used to be a thing back in the day, and women would buy those magazines. Hello, Burt Reynolds. Hello, I think Tom Selleck was also in it. Maybe I know Shawn Michaels was in it, and a lot of ladies were disappointed, and wrestling fans they didn't. So is junk. Um, so again, it's not a family friendly episode, so I can say those things. I didn't want to go full bore on it because again, I just did the whole gripe about drinking from the straw makes you gay, and I'm talking about gay stuff. So the hypocrisy and hypocritic, the hypocrite stuff is like right there, man. It's not even walking the line. All right. It's funny though. That's what makes it funny because it's true, because it's funny. All right. So everything this guy's did. And unfortunately, there was alleged during the Me Too movement that he had, let's say, inappropriately talked to some girls or did something at a bar. It's still, I don't think that lawsuit was ever settled. If it was settled, it may have been settled out of court allegedly. But he had to leave. He made Devil's Own with Valhalla Studios, which was his other studios, and I think he had worked on a couple other projects. And I think because it didn't do as well as it could have, because it was on a failed system, that it kind of crushed what he was doing. So that's very unfortunate. And I wish that things would have been different for him. So that's all I can say. And I just got a message from somebody saying, I'm shaking my camera too much. Please stop shaking your camera. It's making me dizzy. Okay, I will stop shaking my camera if it's making you dizzy. I think I just move around too quickly sometimes. I'm like worried about someone popping me or shooting me because I'm wearing a Gulf of Mexico hat. It's a funny story behind the reason why it was actually changed to the Gulf of Mexico, so they could possibly do drilling and other things. Because the former administration, if you look all this up, there is a reason why it was changed to the Gulf of America. Was a reason so they can continue to do this whatever bullcrap, look for oil or something like that. So I just don't want people cutting down any more trees. They've cut down enough trees in my area. The homes that are already built are built. If you want to build more homes, uh, build them on places where it's like trash, where it's like horrible. It's like, oh, all these houses are abandoned. Well, let's destroy these houses and rebuild over on top of them. You know, rather than like I don't want to go into all that. That'd be a little too political. And I'm trying to do something about legends and people passing away. But shout out to Nobu Itagaki. I really loved his games. I really thought all the DOAs were great. I will get the beach volleyball #3 eventually, and then just play it on like a PlayStation 4 where my child doesn't play. So there you go. It's like, hey, you shouldn't play the PlayStation 4 in my room. I'll just play it on that and enjoy lesser graphics. So now another legend that passed away, which is sad, and I grew up watching her religiously because I had Fox back in the day, and I also watched it on, I think it was on NBC as well, the originally, and that would be Suzanne Somers from Three's Company, and she was also in Step by Step. Now Suzanne Somers, for those who are too young to know, who may be watching the show right now, like, who is Suzanne Somers? Dude, you need to go watch Three's Company, the original Three's Company. That show was funny. I think it would hold up today. Um, I think she may have been around when Mr. Frehley was there, which is Don Knotts. She may have made like a few seasons with Don Knotts, but she had some dispute issues that she wasn't getting paid enough, and she's kind of mad because like look, man, people watch me because I'm good looking, yada yada yada, and I deserve more money. Well, this is like in the '70s, and they're like, nah, homegirl, gets to stepping. And so she got to stepping and then made like all these different exercise things, which actually work. So you should look into her stuff, support her work, support her family, buy some of her workout gear. Because like she has stuff like that. I think it's something like for your thighs, it's all these different things that Suzanne Somers did. And then she did Step by Step, which was actually pretty good as well. But she was a legend unto herself. It makes you feel old that all these legends are dying. All these people that you grew up watching has a little boy or a little girl, or again, whatever you are in this wonderful, beautiful world, or if you're an alien or lizard person. Uh, you know, it was just kind of funny because you watch these people and you laugh and you just like start thinking to yourself, like, am I getting old? Like, dude, you're getting old, bro. That sucks. And things that you thought were cool, it's no longer cool. But yeah, watch Three's Company, support Suzanne Somers. She was a legend, and she was pretty funny on the show. I mean, there's no one's going to be funnier than Jack Jack Ritter or John Ritter, but he played Jack on Three's Company. But she was a funny girl. She got to play. It's like, can you play Dumbo Blonde, who's unbelievably attractive? Yes, but don't call me a bumbo. You mean a bimbo? Yes. For those who know that joke. Um, so now moving on, I want to get to the very last great artist, and this one actually really is like personal to me because I grew up listening to the music. Uh, I love this band. Um, I don't love everybody in the band, especially some of the current members, especially one who said, uh, do certain things or, screw your freedoms, you suck, all these other things. And, it's sad that this guy passed away. He was one of the best, and he was a damn good guitarist. And guy was like, he had two new albums that had came out, um, one in 2000, one in I think 2015, and then he had the one from the '70s, and then he had some other work that he did, and he was actually an underrated guitarist, man. He did so many good songs that have really good riffs to them. To me, I think he was the iconic Kiss logo. He came up with that. And when Gene Simmons says, He punched. I love Gene Simmons has become Hulk Hogan to basically, because Hulk Hogan's known for this, horrible storytelling of telling lies. Even though he could tell the truth about things, he still tells lies. Gene Simmons has become that type of dude. Allegedly, I don't want him to sue me or anything. So, but he basically said that he punched some girl in the face because she was wearing uh Nazi clothes or whatever, and someone shared a picture from the Kiss Army, and then of an old interview of basically Paul Stanley, who is also Jewish, uh and Ace Frehley wearing Nazi style uniforms that look, very Nazi like or whatever. And I'm like, such a fucking hypocrite, Gene. But you would expect no less. I mean, Gene's the kind of guy who, like, you're going to take the keys to his car if you're a ballet, and he charges you for that. He charges you, $3,500 for a meet and greet. And Gene would tell you, yeah, I would do that because that's how Gene is about his money, allegedly. But what gets me, man, this guy was unbelievably amazing guitarist, and apparently is that he just didn't want to go on tour, and he'd had some problems a few times here and there with Kiss, so Kiss replaced him with Vinnie Vince first. And if you notice, my whole thing is like Vinnie Vince actually wrote like one of Kiss's more harder albums, Revenge. Vinnie Vincent's hands are all over that album, and that's a unbelievably great album, by the way. So if you never heard Kiss Revenge, check that album out. But Ace was just like a different guy. He was a nice guy. All these interviews are coming out about him, and then fans are saying, "Hey, Ace didn't charge me for a meet and greet. Ace just signed stuff just to sign stuff." Ace was just a cool dude. He was a stand up guy. It's like, "Hey, I got money. I don't need to be like money every 5 seconds. I made my money. I'm happy with my money." And that's the way you need to be, because then things will come to you freely, and people won't be like I guarantee you, a lot of people are not going to be like kissing Gene Simmons' ass when he dies. They'll say some nice things about him, like Gene's kind of a dick. And there might be some people it's like behind the scenes, Gene did this, this, and this, and this, and this. Oh well, Gene Simmons, he's based, or Gene Simmons is not based. Gene Simmons only cares at the end of the day about Gene Simmons. This is a guy who bragged about running through like a ton of girls, but yet being married at the same time. Oh, not being married, but living with his so-called wife, which he basically did marry. And then talks about his heritage later on. Once he's like super, 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 super rich. Like, and then it's like, oh, it always meant so much to me. Really? Did it really mean that much to you? I don't think it did, because if it did, in an interview, I think in 1970, what was it, 74 or 76, when he was on this one talk show in, I think it was in Queens, New York, because I watched it because I'm a big fan, big of Kiss Army, so forth. So I used to watch everything Kiss. This was like a 96 or 97. No. It might have been 92, maybe 91. And it was a big interview, and it's an older interview. And it's like this lady asked, she's like, says, "What is a nice Jewish boy like you doing doing stuff like this?" Because they used to think KISS stand for Kids in Satan's Army. Yes, yeah, that's what they used to say it stood for, and and that's basically what someone else came up with. It's like, oh, that's what it stands for. Like, no, it didn't really stand for that, but since you said it stands for that, I guess it can. And it's like whenever the lady said that to him, and he's like, it's like he kind of snarks for a second. It's like, man, don't give up the goose. It's not a big deal, dude, and it wouldn't have been a big deal back then. But yet you want to sit there and make it a big deal now, where it shouldn't be a big deal at all. I mean, it's like what? Someone's gonna say, "Oh man, I hate your music because you're, Jewish." No, they're like, "Yo, man, your music's good," or like, "Hey, man, you do pretty good." Um, you know, my favorite song from you is "God of Thunder" and "World Without Heroes," and I guarantee you, he's not playing World Without Heroes on any tour. He's basically playing, um, what is it? The simple ones, the easy ones. I doubt he's even doing God of Thunder, which is like the best one. Destroyer is also the best album of all time. When it comes to Kiss, Revenge is good, but Revenge could have used a I love Bruce Killick, but they could have used a better thing. But this is about Ace. This is not about Kiss in general. And this guy's career, man, was so long. I mean, started in the 70s. And if you look at everything he did and everything people have to say about him, uh, you know, there's some morons on many different chats and Facebook pages and Instagram saying, "Bye, Star Child." I'm like, are you kidding me? You're thinking Ace is the Star Child? What the hell's wrong with you? Ace is the spaceman, man. Star Child's Paul Stanley. Catman's Peter Criss. Foxman's Chris Carr. Uh, you know, what was it? The Egyptian guys, I can't think of, sorry, Vinny Vince, I can't remember what yours was. But no, and of course the demon is Gene Simmons. Oh, so many jokes there, but I'm not gonna go there because Gene's kind of a douche, and he would probably say so. All right, but no, you know, to me, Ace Frehley was like his play style. You look at so many different things he did, like his work on Love Guns, and if you pay attention to Love Guns guitar work, it's really good. And I'm just talking. I'm not even talking about the solo itself for Love Guns. I'm talking about and of course, I mean, and think about this. At the time, they were one of their live album really put them on the map. If it wasn't for their live album, and them doing it the best they could on their live album, I don't think people would have known. I don't think Kiss would have got out of the way. And I know everybody's going to say, "But what about I Was Made for Loving You, Baby" during the disco era? That's because Gene is smart. Gene's like, "Hey, disco's really big. Let's do a disco song." I guarantee you, Ace was like, "Fuck that, man. That shit's lame. I'm not doing that shit." And then Paul's like, "Yeah, it sounds pretty fucking lame." And Chris seems like he's more agreeable. And so he's like, let's do that. And then they did it. And it was, that pretty much, man, made them a ton of money. I'm talking about a ton of money. And then you gotta think, man, they made all these monies off all these tours, everything like that. They got back together after they did Kiss Unplugged, and I don't know if they released another album after Revenge and Kiss Unplugged. I kind of stopped buying Kiss albums, so you can call me not a true fan. That'll be okay. Some people are Led Zeppelin fans. I'm a Kiss fan. I can appreciate Led Zeppelin from afar. They're not my cup of tea as much as Kiss was. Kiss was always like, and it wasn't because the makeup. My favorite song, believe it or not, was "I Was Made for Loving You, Baby" as a kid. And then I started listening to like Destroyer and other albums, and then you know I always wanted to be a drummer like Peter Criss and sing like Peter Criss, which I can sing. Uh, but I can't drum to save my life. Numerous times I've tried to do and that's probably one of the most hardest guitar solos that, or just guitar. I mean, sorry, drum solos to do, or just drums to do in a on a song, which is Detroit City Rocks. The do 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 do. I mean, just the drums for that is like, give Chris and everybody who does it, that does it well, all the love in the world. But no, and I was thinking maybe I could be Eddie because Eddie Van Halen wanted to be a drummer. Spoiler alert, and was not a drummer. Ended up being one of the greatest top five guitarists of all time. I'm not going to put him number one. Number one would probably be Jimi Hendrix, who was cut down in his prime. And if you just want to go off a body of work, I mean, you got Joey, you got BB King. I mean, and these are guys who lived a long time. You got Steve Vai. So you got all these guys who've been out there for a very long time. And Eddie, again, gets the top five because he was out there for a very long time before he passed away. God rest his soul. But So many other people have come out, big stars, big guitarists that have come out and said that Ace inspired them to be the uh, the guitarist that they wanted to be. That guy was their muse. That guy was, their version of a Hendrix or whatever, and the showmanship that Ace had, and just that the way that the style that he played. And check out his two albums. Actually, he has more than two albums. I think he has five, but I only own two of his albums. So I'm just going off that, or you can listen to the best of it on Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube music, because I do YouTube music constantly. I love YouTube music. For those who watch my show on YouTube or listen to it on Spotify and see the YouTube thing, go to that. Go over to my music play. You can see what type of music I like, which I like a lot of different music. Believe it or not, I think my R&B list actually has the largest play. My 90s alternatives up there pretty high, and then my wuss rock one's getting a lot of love. So people must like wuss rock as much as I do, because that's stuff like I told my daughter, I was like, because she cries all the time for no reason, because that's what kids do. And I said the only time Daddy can have those type of emotions, because you go through life and everything sucks, kind of, sort of, and the only time you have those emotions, like when you listen to like old rock music of a heartbreak or falling in love or something like that, and it reminds you that you're human. I mean, I'm not saying I cry like a girl, because I don't do those things, because I'm not a girl. But it makes you feel human. It makes you feel like you're no longer like you know, you're no longer this machine, this wet robot that goes around, emotionless, just spitting out jokes, or just being funny, or doing whatever you do. Um, I think some people are just hardwired to be like not interesting. Some people are hardwired to be interesting and be the life of the party, without drugs or alcohol. Hey yo. uh so it just depends upon like what type of mood you catch those people in, the entertaining people, because if you catch them on the high, and if you laugh at the jokes, the jokes will keep coming. If someone laughs at like one of my corny jokes, I will start bringing out good material, and I will just keep going as long as they laughing. Now, most of the time, these are just women, and I just assume that they're laughing at my jokes, because it's like, I will laugh at joke. Maybe he will like me. No, I'm married with children. I will not like you. But, if I ever not married with children, then come holla. What's up? uh, but no. So Aces was just, to me, again, I want to be Peter, but I thought Ace was pretty cool. I never really cared for Gene, because he was the demon, and I want to be far away from demons as possible. The only time you want to be a demon is like when you're in the ring and you have to fight somebody, and that's it. If you get in the boxing ring, or for some reason you gotta like step somebody and fight them in real life outside of a ring, you want to be a demon that's going to rip somebody apart, and destroy them so that they'll never come back. That's the only time you want to be a demon, or if you're defending your family. But other than that, you don't want to be a demon. You don't want to be evil, or do any horrible or heinous stuff. You want to be pretty cool. So, but no, shout out to Peter Chris. I mean, Peter Chris. Gotta let me knock on something here. This is wood, ladies and gentlemen, and aliens. So if Peter Chris falls, that is not my fault. But no, shout out to Ace. Shout out to Tomonobu Itagaki. Shout out to Suzanne Somers, which I thought was unbelievably beautiful when I was a little boy, and thought she was even beautiful when I was like becoming a teenager on Step by Step. The funny thing is, the tall guy from Step by Step, Sasha, whatever, I think he was like an amateur kickboxer. He was actually in the movie Kickboxer 4. Check that movie out. He's actually fighting Tung Po. I don't know if he's fighting the real Tung Po or like a knockoff Tung Po, but it was actually a good movie, man. So check out Street Fighter 4 with Sasha, whoever it is. That was actually a pretty decent movie. Before I get out of here, again, shout out to PlayStation 8 Dead. Um, what I'm currently playing Ghost of Yute. I think I'm halfway through, maybe. I'm not sure. I could be halfway through. Probably not. It says 40% completion. So technically almost, maybe. I don't know. Playing a little bit of Madden, winning my matchup in Madden. The only reason why I'm winning matchups in Madden, excuse me, not Madden, but fantasy football, because I don't watch football anymore, ladies and gentlemen. All I do is I just basically look at the analytics online. I look at who's doing what. I look at here's something that most people don't do. I don't know if you play for money, if you play for fun, or if you're doing whatever in your fantasy football league, if you do play for money. But look at that person that you're going to put on your team or you're thinking about getting. Look at their status. If they're married, not married, do they have a girlfriend? Are they going through a breakup? Whatever. That's how I pick my people. And I usually either win or go to the playoffs or go to the championship game every year in my league. And I haven't really watched football in years. When people want to talk to me about sports, I basically look up stuff if I know I'm going somewhere to see somebody who wants to talk, like for 5 seconds or whatever, so I have enough information to have a casual conversation with a random human being. I look up some statistics or it's like whatever the scores are, and then I look at so bam, and so, it's like, yeah, so and so, I didn't watch no games. I haven't literally, I don't think I watched a full football game unless it's like the college playoffs. Like I'll watch that stuff when it comes. And then maybe I'll watch the Super Bowl unless it's a blowout. I ain't watching the halftime show this year for Bad Bunny. I'm sorry. Uh, Me no hable español. Now I had made love to a couple of Puerto Rican women and a couple of Mexican women in Texas. Muchas gracias, señoritas. No tortas though. No tortas. Just prime, great Spanish, beautiful. Long time ago though. Anyway, rather than me reminiscing about all the beautiful senoritas I've been with back in the day. Thank you so much for being with me and taking a chance on a crazy gringo who just happens to be, as I must say for every episode, I am contractually obligated to, uh, Comanche Indian and Irish. So thank you for taking a chance on me for a couple of weeks or a few months or whatever time that we had in that relationship. And the same thing with many, many other people from many different ethnic backgrounds. Thank you. You will forever be remembered right up here until like I get some type of horrible thing and then my memory's wiped out. But thank you for all the good times. I can never tell if I would have had a son, I could tell him all these cool and amazing things. No, no. I was cursed. It's like, I can't tell that to my daughter. I can't say, hey, your dad was a man whore. just FYI. I mean, you know, I, I want to sing Tupac's "I Get Around," but I don't want to, get a copyright strike and not have to do that. But anyway, those are the games I'm currently playing. Oh, of course, Infinity Nikki, because I'm obligated to play that for some reason. PlayStation Plus premium games that are coming out this week, or excuse me, next week on the 20th, will be Silent Hill 2, the remake edition for the PS5. Um, Until Dawn, the PlayStation 5 version of the same, pretty much kind of looks the same. It's like, oh look, it's a little bit sharper. We remade that shit. Fuck out of here! You fucking remaking trash, you dipshit motherfuckers. You might as well go. It's like playing fucking Goat Simulator. It's like, oh, we remastered Goat Simulator. So what? You can fuck the goat better? You stupid motherfuckers. This stupid ass shit. Fucking the game already looked great. Like, no, 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 no. See now. There's extra lighting in the background. See, you see that light, ladies and gentlemen, behind me? So I'm gonna take a light out next week. So that way it's like, now we're coming to you in high def because I took a fucking light out. Or no, I'll add another light. So then it's it's PS5 ready, even though it was already. It pretty much looks the same as the last fucking week's show or last show I fucking did, but now it's PS5 ready, motherfuckers. So yeah, that's how I feel about fucking remakes of the exact same game, where it's like bit for bit. This is why I will not get Metal Gear uh, Delta or Snake Eater, which is Metal Gear 3, or Metal Gear 1, if you want to call it that, because it's technically Metal Gear 1, uh, until it goes down to $30 after Thanksgiving, because it's a shot-for-shot remake of the exact same fucking game. I already own Metal Gear like numerous fucking times. PSP fucking Vita, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360. Fuck. I don't need to own that motherfucker, unless it's going to be a cheap price. Like if they would have came out and said, "Oh yeah, we're doing a shot for shot and it's $30," I guarantee you they would have sold more fucking copies. But because they're like, "Oh, by the way, it's 60 fucking dollars. Eat fucking horse dick." No man, fuck you, buddy. You eat fucking horse dick. So, um, but yes, there's a lot of games I'd like to get whenever it goes down to a cheap, fair price for the common man. But anyway, sorry for the little bit of rant at the end of the show. This is supposed to be like respecting, legends that have passed away, rather than me going on a tyrant of basically, fuck these remakes of certain games because it's retarded in the worst way. And trust me, I too am somewhat of a fucking retard. Okay, but I'm not so fucking retarded. I'm gonna give somebody fucking $60 to $70 for a fucking remake with no significant changes. There's like, oh look, Snake smiles this time around. He makes facial expressions. He didn't make those in the previous game unless you did the little codec call. So look here, dipshit. You fucking spend that $60. No, fuck you, man. Spend $60 on your fucking horse shit, man. Blow me. All right. Well, that's enough of me bagging on that fucking game, which I'll end up buying for $30, even though I spent the time. Because then all the suckers who spent the big boy money was like, oh, we can drop it to that price. Same thing with Madden. Like I buy Madden every year when it's like $10 to $15, like was it the Super Bowl time or whatever, for myself. I don't fucking spend no money on that shit. All the suckers buy that shit for this $70. Buy fucking Madden and NCAA for 70. And good luck, motherfucker. All right, enough of me bagging on games and being a hater. Ladies and gentlemen, aliens, whatever you identify in this wonderful, beautiful world, people who don't use straws to drink their fucking drinks like green tea with honey. Enjoy the show, man. Enjoy life. Have a good day. Fuck out of here. Go go do something else. We'll see you next time. Peace.